screaming right, I'll be here with you. locked in a box. Locked in a rhythm, stuck behind the bars of his own beat. The boy holds his breath, not understanding what it means. But it's okay, he says his brother. Don't look away. Breathe into your veins. Don't look away. No one to blame. Hold the pain. Look shade right in the face. Open heart and say, yeah. Don't look away. Don't look away. Time is locked.
Hello. How we doing? There we go. The clap button wasn't working. Hello everybody, it's good to see you. It's SK Shlomo here. And welcome to another one of my music tech masterclasses. This is episode 2, and this month even, we're going to be looking at live looping. I originally built it as live looping, live streaming, and live performance. But when I came to kind of plan this, I'm like, that is actually quite a lot to cover. So you guys tell me if you do want to cover the rest of it, because we can. But I think mostly we'll dive into live looping and we'll maybe look at those other things on another episode. But this is going to be a whole lot of fun. How are you guys doing out there? I hope you're okay. It's such a crazy time at the moment. Everything keeps changing all the time, and it's Christmas. But I am here to help you by telling you all about very fun music technology that anyone can use to express themselves, which is a big, big passion of mine, empowering people to be their most powerful self through creativity. And I love to do that myself, and I love to teach other people how to. And that's why we're here. So we're going to have a bit of fun today. I'm going to introduce you shortly to my Zoom room, who are my kind of my guinea pigs, who I'm going to be working with today, and learning from them and them learning from us. But everybody watching at home, it's lovely to see you. Tell me, where are you watching from? And tell me, are you watching live or on the replay? I want you to hit us up in the chat and tell us where you're watching from and whether you're watching it live or on the replay. And in today's show, we have a very exciting thing, which is somebody is going to win this, which is a brand new Roland Loop Station RC500, courtesy of Boss Roland. Thank you very much for that, Boss and Roland. Why are they called Boss and Roland? I don't know. But anyway, they've given us some loot, which we always love, and someone's going to get to win that. Let me see everybody on here. Nicole is having trouble getting on... onto the Zoom room link. I think it's the same link as last time, man. If you jump on there, we'll let you in. That's cool. Stickle Mouse is excited to be here. He is watching live from London over on Twitch. If anyone else is out there, give us a message. Say hello. Tell us where you're watching from and if you're live or on the replay. I'm going to show you some exciting stuff today. I'm going to show you 3 different ways you can do live looping, and they vary from very, very, very entry level, like literally a free app that anybody can use, then a slightly more powerful setup that involves some hardware with a physical loop station, and then all the way to the other extreme, which is my customized, self-created machine here, of which there's only one in the world. So they're kind of they're going up the accessibility level. But I think what I might do is actually start with Beast, which is the machine I made. I'm going to do a quick demo on all three of them for you to start here. So let me show you my machine. This is Beast. Everybody say hello, Beast. Hello, Beast. Hello, Beast. Hello, Beast. Hello, Beast. Hello, Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That's very oh, stop. That's too kind. You are too kind. So that is what I call Beast. So that is my machine that I created to kind of meet my ridiculously needy needs. And it can do all kinds of stuff. And the thing about it is it's customizable. So if it doesn't do something, you can pretty much get it to make it do what you want it to do, because I'm using code. I created my own code. So that is the most powerful machine I have here. I've kind of done this in the wrong order, I think, but I'm going to go to the middle one now, for which I need to switch mics. Hello, hello, hello. Can you still hear me? Give me a shout if you can still hear me. And I can also, in theory, show you this kit as well. Is that going to work? Yeah. Okay, so I've got another camera. So this is the iPad running Endless, which is the free software. But I'm going to go with the middle one first, which is this machine there, which is the Boss Roland Loop Station RC505, which is pretty much the most powerful hardware looper I've seen. Thank you very much indeed. That's very kind of... Oh, stop. You're too kind. Oh, thank you. Oh, man, where's all my little GIFs? I've got no GIFs going on here. I'll have to fix them in a minute. Normally that would make glitter and stuff happen. Okay, and then the third machine I've got here is this. This is the iPad, and this machine... this is new. It's really exciting. There's an app that I've been using a lot called Endless, and it's really fun because it is collaborative, so you can work with other people in real time. And it's completely free. You can pay to upgrade it to get extra stuff, but the basic level of it is completely free as long as you have an iOS device. I believe there's a Windows and Android version coming soon. In fact, they've just launched the desktop version, which integrates with Mac. and Ableton. So that's very exciting. You can use it in any DAW, and I got it a couple of days ago, and I've been playing with it. It's fun, but I haven't played with it enough to show you properly yet, but I will do on a future stream. So let me show you this machine, right, because this is really, really fun. It's kind of designed to just get straight in, hands-on, like really cool. It's kind of loud though, hang on. Cool, let me see if I can have a little jam with this guy. Turn the metronome on. Let's see what I can do. That's fun, man. That's super duper fun. So yeah, let me just turn the metronome off. I'm still a bit slow with this, you know. Oh, there we go, let's turn it off. Oh, thank you for the applause, you're so kind. Okay, so there's your three machines. And like, as you can see, you can spend as much or as little as you want. Most people already have a smartphone or an iPhone or a tablet. And if you do, you can get endless for free. Or if you want to invest in something more physical, you can get yourself a hardware machine, and we'll talk about those. And if you really want to go deep and lose your mind into a pit of excitement, then I recommend playing around with software, playing around with Ableton, where you can start making your own customized workflows and really going absolutely crazy. So this is going to be fun. We're going to be here. I'm going to be taking your questions and making lots of music. Poor Nicole still commenting on Facebook, hasn't been able to get in. I bought my ticket, but I still can't get into the Zoom room. If you find the email we sent you from last time, just use that same Zoom link. I wish I had someone who could help you and email it to you again, but if you check your emails from before, it's there. So this is going to be really fun. Stickle Mouse says, like the new tee, sir. Yeah, this is my Rave to the Moon t-shirt. Rave to the Moon, if you don't know what that is, I'll talk to you about it a bit later on, but we're going on New Year's Eve, we're going on a virtual rave to the moon. It's complicated, but I'll explain all. This is lovely. So thank you very much to everybody who's tuning in. And I want to introduce you to some friends of mine now, because I'm not here by myself. I am here with a whole crew who are here to help us learn, and we'll learn from them. And they are my Zoom room. Everybody go crazy for the Zoom room. Oh, there they are. Looking good. Hi team, how are you? How are you? How are you? Oh, you're frozen on the stream. I'm not sure why you're frozen on the stream, but yeah. I can see you in Zoom, but on stream you're like literally frozen. That's fine. How are you guys doing? You okay? Can you guys hear the Zoom room at home, even if they've frozen on the stream? Say hello, guys.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi, hi.
How you doing?
Hey, hey, hey. People at home, give us a comment if you can hear them. And I'm going to try and figure out why they have frozen. They look good. Luckily, they've been frozen in a good way. Or maybe they're moving, but just moving very slowly. Stickle Mouse says, big up the Zoom room crew. So you can see them, but can you hear them? Let me have a look at this. I've been messing around with this today, and my computer is just like, what are you doing to me? Why? Let me see. These guys here. So that gets rid of them. That brings them back. But why are they froze? Why are they frozen? Let me try one other thing. So I absolutely love live streaming and geeking out, and I'm always trying to like improve everything and change everything, which sometimes it'd be better if I just didn't, if I just let it be with something that works. But to me, I'm always trying to improve it. Let me just try one more thing. No, I can't see them on there. Oh well, Zoom room, you're going to be either moving very, very slowly or just frozen. But I think we can hear you, which is good. So that's cool. People at home, if you can't hear the people in the Zoom room, just let us know and we'll see if we can fix that. So, Zoom room, I can see you. You look clear on my screen, so that's good. How are you guys doing? You okay? It's nice to see you.
Yeah, we're good. Good.
Pretty good, thanks.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
good.
that's excellent. Great to be here.
Nicole's still freaking out. It says that old link doesn't work. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me share this to you. So we're going to start the show, and I'll share this to you in a second, Nicole, so you can come and join. So everybody in the Zoom room, everybody at home, I'd love to know, what is it that you would like to get out of today? What brought you to this stream today? What was it you'd like to learn? So have a little think. In a minute, I'm going to go around the room. I'm going to ask you guys your name and what it is that you'd like to get out of today. And people at home as well, if you could share that as well, that would be really, really cool. Also, while we're here, if anybody would like to, you can support me by buying me a coffee. If you see down here on the corner of the screen, coffee.com/SK Shlomo, and it goes straight into the pocket of an artist who can't tour right now. So I really appreciate any tips you can give. And if you do it, it should send a nice cup of coffee all the way up the top of the screen, which is super fun. Right, let's meet this lovely Zoom room. Anybody at home, tell me what it is that you want out of today, and I will chat with the Zoom room. So let's meet you guys one by one. Who's going to go first? Who would like to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about why you're here?
Hi, my name is Ben, and I'm here to learn a bit about beatboxing. I've always thought it was cool. I don't know much about it apart from stupid sounds I make by myself, and I'd be interested to see what you're doing.
Amazing, cool. Thanks so much, man. Yeah, this should be fun. I think you're going to have a whole lot of fun. Anybody else who would like to go next and introduce themselves and tell us why you're here?
Yeah. Hi, can you hear me? I'm Tess. I've just recently, I got a loop station in the summer. I've been wanting one for years and just, got very into it and just would like to understand more of the fine point.
What loop station did you get, Tess?
I've got a 505.
Yeah, amazing. That's the one I was just using here. If you're at home and you're wondering, that's a really powerful machine. There's so much you can do with it. So hopefully I can help you kind of go even deeper with it if you want to. Amazing. Who would like to go next?
I'll step up. So yeah, I'm Oz, and I'd like to just find out about music composition. Really, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
In
the stream, I'm blocking your face, but all I'm blocking is a frozen frame anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, no worries. I just wanted to learn about music composition. You know, how to make a beat loop station.
For sure. Do you have a looper?
Yeah, I do. I've got an RC 505 as well.
Amazing. Actually,
I just wanted to. Yeah, it's cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Amazing, wicked, and the last guy, who we know from last month as well, Paul, aka Subsonic. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. So man, cheers, man. What I'm looking to get out of this lesson is just like more experience on the loop station. I've been sort of teaching myself and watching tutorials and stuff on YouTube. I feel like I'm getting a feel for it. I'm more used to like the Chaos pad that I used before. But yeah, each time I go on it, I feel like I'm learning a bit more and stuff how it works. But yeah, just any tips from you would be appreciated, really.
Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so it sounds like we're pretty open-minded. That's cool. And if any more questions come up whilst I'm messing about, just jump in. Keep yourself unmuted if you need to, and just jump in. We'll make it this a conversation. We'll make it a kind of dialogue. But we're going to have a whole load of fun. So anyone watching at home, if there's anything you guys want to know, please do comment. I can see poor Nicole's still trying to get in. Look in your junk folder. You should have had 3 emails with the information. So look in your junk folder. If anyone else is trying to get in the Zoom room, information may be in your junk folder. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through now how these 3 different setups work. So we've got the free app, which is Endless. I'll spend a little minute on there just showing you how that works. Then I'm going to show you in a bit more depth how I use my RC505 and how I've got it configured and what settings I use. By no means the only way to do it, it's just the way that works for my brain the best. What I could do, I was going to show you Beast as well, but what I could do if that's of interest is I could show you how to kind of set up a machine from scratch. Because this loop station, RC500, is a very powerful machine and someone's going to win this. Before I send it to you, I could set it up the way I set it up if you like, or I can also factory reset it after I'm done. But if you're interested, I could show you the process of literally opening a box and finding the cable and plugging it all in, literally step by step, if that's of interest. So it's kind of up to you guys where we go with this. But yeah, I'll talk you through those 3 things to start with, which is how I've configured my stuff and how all this works. So what do you guys want to do first? Do you want to do Endless, do you want to do Beast, or do you want to do 505? Let's have a little vote in the comments. Give us a 505 if you want to see the 505. Give us an Endless if you want to see me do this guy. And give us a Beast if you want to see me do this guy. What should we do first? Same with you guys on Zoom. What do you guys want to do first? You got the Endless already open on your phone, which is very cool. I'll take that as a vote for Endless. What do you guys want to see there? Yeah, should we do some Endless? All right, let's have a little bit of fun. Let's have a little look at Endless. Endless is a very powerful machine. Stick Mouse watching at home wants to do Endless as well, so we'll do that now. Okay, so this is Endless. Let me show you the screen. This guy is called Endless. It's a really, really cool app. It's completely free. Oh, Paul Subsonic just bought SK Shlomo a coffee. Thanks for the awesome lesson. That's very kind of you to do that. Wow, very good multitasking as well. I didn't even notice it. So Endless is here, right? It's a very, 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 very cool app. It's completely free, and you can use it. What's really nice about it is you can use it on any device, any iOS device, and it's cloud-based, so it remembers your settings and remembers your jams. So if you're kind of jamming on the way home on the bus, and you get home and then you want to whip out your iPad or your laptop, you can pick it up where you left off, which is really, really fun, really exciting. And also you can just do it with your fingers. So if you haven't got a keyboard, you haven't got any equipment, you can just go straight into jamming. So I'll show you how I've got it set up. There's millions of ways you could use this, but this is how I use it. So when you first get into it, it brings you up into a screen here where you can join in with jams from the community. So it's a collaborative app, and you can jam with people all around the world. So right now there's someone working on this jam here called Twisted Wires, someone called Oscar. Ooh. That's what they're doing right now. We can just jump right in and play with them if we want. Look, that's everything happening. So I've just jumped into someone's jam session and messed with it, whether they like that or not. It's kind of their problem. But so there's loads of stuff happening here. You can go and jam in with any of those at any point, which is really exciting. Or you can make your own. So if you can play solo, which is that big button there, or you can go to My Jams at the bottom here, and then you can create your own jam. And what's lovely is then you can share that with a buddy. So you can share a link, a private link. If you don't want the whole world jumping on, you can share a private link. And then you can jam on that. So I'm going to start a brand new jam. In fact, no, I'm not. I'm going to pull up the jam we had earlier, which for some reason... There it is. And then if you hit the jam button, you're in. I'm going to start something new. So then once you're in there, there's so much you can do. So this button here gives you 6 different options of how you can kind of input music into it. Can you see my iPad there nice and clearly? I don't know if you can. It's probably a bit reflecty, but you can see a rough idea of what I'm doing. It looks the same on iPhone as well. You can choose drums. You can choose notes, which is basically keyboard stuff. You can choose bass. You can choose sampler, which is you can then resample anything into it and then turn that into a keyboard. You can do effects, which is very similar to the kind of Chaos Pad stuff that Paul was mentioning earlier, kind of XY effects. Or you can choose microphone, which enables you to sample directly into the machine. So you can see my signal coming in there. And now this is the most beautiful thing about Endless, which is why I love it so much. Unlike every other looper I've ever used, it works in a completely different way in that it's you hit loop after you've done something good. So most loopers, you hit record and then in a bit of a panic state, you try and do something good and it loops anything you do. Whereas in Endless, you don't hit record. It's always going. I don't know if you can see that there, but it's recorded everything I've done. And when you've done something that you like, then you loop it, which is really, really cool. Like, so if I kind of did something like, yeah, 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 that wasn't quite perfect. So I'll keep going until I like it. Yeah, 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 yeah. So that's really cool. Like, it reverses the psychology of live looping, which for me is an absolute game changer, which is also why I'm so excited about the desktop version, which integrates with Ableton, because in theory that can go into Beast and become part of the engine of how I live loop on stage in front of audiences, which, by the way, is going to be legal again one day, hopefully. So I'm really looking forward to that. So there's different ways you can set this up as well. So if you go to this little graph there, you can go to the settings. You can go to looper mode. It ships in simple mode, which is this guy, which makes it really, really simple to make a loop. So if you go back to the mic, it just says touch to loop, so you don't get control of how long that loop is. Get control of how long that loop, and 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 get but if you, I like to go in with the settings on advanced, because what that means is you can choose between 1 bar, 2 bar, 4 bars, or 8 bars. So after you've done something, you can again, you don't have to decide how long your loop's going to be until you've done the good thing, right? So one other thing that's interesting is you can turn off quantize. It's normally on 16th notes, which means basically if you just jam out any rhythm, it will quantize it, so it'll put it into the grid and make it sound like you meant it, and make it sound good. But you can turn that off, which I like. And if you also turn your looper mode to punch in and out mode, you can start the loop by hitting the record button. I'll show you what I mean. So you can go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So then you're not. That's my only gripe with Endless, is that unless you put it in that mode, you have to kind of use the metronome to get your first loop. And I guess in a normal setting, when you're using Endless, you're probably jamming with other people. You're using it as a kind of chill out kind of thing, or you're not really using it to perform with. But as a live performer, I'm always trying to find ways to be able to perform in a really slick way without having to press many buttons. So that's a bit annoying for me, that you have to go through that setup to be able to kind of unquantize and create a loop length of whatever length you want. Or you can use the metronomes. Put the metronome on. Choose your tempo. And then you can start jamming. And then once you've got that looping, maybe you can turn the metronome off. It's really fun because you're flowing straight away. You don't have time to question yourself and think, oh, is this good enough? You're just playing. And look at all these different sounds. There's so many different sounds in here. Look at these. These are all different bass patches. So many. Let's have a look. Dipper. So then, once you've got a few things going, you press this little graph here, you can get into this little mixer here. So that last one I did was quite loud, so I can turn it down a bit, or even turn it off. And then the last thing that I love here is this effects setting. So you can choose which layer you're going to put the effects on. So let's keep it on that keyboard sound I just did, and then you can choose any of these effects, reverb. And then once you do something you like, you sample that. And you can even collect everything into it, and then put a loop, put an effect on the whole thing, like a. And in that way you can just keep moving forwards the whole time, and that is really, really fun. So I want to go over to the Zoom room, right, and I want to ask you guys, I see some of you have already got Endless there up on your phone. Like, does anybody want to jump in on this session with me on Endless, and we'll jam together? I'm trying to get you guys up on the screen, but my computer hates me right now.
No, I'm still frozen.
You're on the screen, you're just you're frozen from whatever you did about 3 minutes ago. So if anyone wants to have a little jam with this, I'm going to hand it to the Zoom room. I'm going to share a little link for you guys. Nicole's still saying nothing in spam. I'm so sorry, Nicole. I will get these guys jamming on this, and then I will jump in and get you a link so you can join in. So I'm going to put the link into the Zoom chat. And if you wish you were on Zoom with us and you're not Nicole, you can buy a ticket for next month on my website. They're only £5. It's a token. It's a token cost. It's mostly just so people actually show up. Here you go. So if you click that in the Zoom room, I just put a link in the chat. If you click that, you should be able to jump into this jam, and then you can start messing with it and adding your own things to it. So we can have a kind of collaborative play, which is really exciting. Give us a nod or a wave if that's making any sense at all. Yeah, no, Zoom room are nodding. While they're doing that, I'm going to keep playing. Zoom crew, did anyone manage to get into the link? is it not working?
I'm almost
Everyone's
there.
got their concentration face on. Tell me, guys, what happened when you clicked on that link?
So probably it's an internet page. I'm trying to log in, but obviously it's not in the app sort of thing. So I'm just trying to work out why that is.
I don't have
Okay,
iOS.
this is the joys of technology. It just
Yeah.
So
when it works, it
on
works.
my Mac, and I've got this app on my phone, and so I'm just trying to take this link and send it to myself so I can click it.
I see. You haven't got the link on your phone. Okay. Okay. I'm going to leave this little jam playing for a minute while I help poor Nicole, who's struggling to get into the Zoom room. Oh, cool. Nicole, I've sent you the link to your Facebook Messenger so you can join the Zoom room. Everybody else, how are you guys doing? Have you managed to get anywhere on Endless? Who's there? Not working at all.
Not yet, no.
So what happens when you do it?
I'm just trying to log in to like the internet site to like get the sort of thing to join, but I'm putting the right password. I've literally just created it, but it's not letting me log in.
So
I've
Paul
had exactly the same
can't
problem.
log in.
Yeah.
Anyone else managed to get into Endless?
It got into Endless, and then it can't. It's asking me to try later to get into the jam. It won't let me in. Can't
Have I
let
made
me
it
in.
private? Have I done something wrong here? Options. Invite friends to play. So this is the joys of technology. You kind of gotta, get through the failures. Every time you fail, you learn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try sending the link again. It looks like the same link there, doesn't it? Aha, we have a Lucas. Okay, maybe we'll abandon the endless jam thing. It's normally very, very cool, but we'll have another look at what happened there, and we'll fix it up for next time. But look who is here! Look who's managed to join us. Apologies for the dramas there, but I'm glad you managed to get in. Can't see you there, boss. Okay, so that's endless. We'll come back to that. But the next thing I want to show you guys is my loop station, my Roland 505 loop station. Let me show you the screen of this guy so you can see how I've got this thing set up. There it is. So this is my loop station. So can you guys see this nice and clear? This is a loop station. Such a powerful machine. Again, you can do so much with it. But you've got 5 whole separate loopers on here that are kind of synced together. And what's lovely is you've got input effects and you've got output effects. So these are called your input effects. So with this, you can add effects to the mic or the instrument on the way into the machine. So if you want to add some reverb, I've got it mapped to this. You can have 3 different effects kind of in a chain. So on my first one, I've got an EQ. And what I do is I trigger, when I beatbox, I need to turn the volume down a bit because I hold the mic so close to my face. And I also add some EQ. So I use this button to be able to trigger between speaking, which is a lot louder, and beatboxing, which lowers the level but raises the bass and raises the treble. You'll hear the difference between when I beatbox with this turned off and on. So what I've done in the EQ is, let me see, I have, how do you change it? I can't even remember how you get into this guy. I've turned up the low. I don't know if, can you read the screen there or is it a bit grainy? I'm not sure if you can read it. But on here, on this EQ, you can change your settings between low, mid, and high. And I've got the whole level down by minus 14 decibels. So it really takes a lot of level off when I turn this EQ on. It's actually turning on a dip of 14 decibels. It's turning the high up by 18 decibels. It's turning the high mid down by 4 decibels and the low mid down by 1 decibel and the low up by 10 decibels. So what that creates is a kind of smiley face curve. Loads and loads of bass, loads and loads of treble, not very much mid. And that's great for beatboxing through one of these, which is an SM58 microphone. You can hear the difference to when I turn that EQ on and off. Yeah. Like that. So that's my first input EQ. There's so many effects you can use on these inputs, but I'll show you the ones I use. So that's my EQ. I use that to very quickly trigger between beatboxing and speaking when I'm on stage. The second one I use is I use the filter setting on here to create a high pass filter, and that is another reason. That's another thing I do on stage. If you're talking on stage or if you're doing something without much bass, you don't want loads of bass coming out of your mic, so I use that to filter that all off. It's a bit boring, but it does make a huge difference on stage. Can you hear the difference? That's taken all the bass out. And the last one I've got on here is a reverb. Yeah. That's how I use my input EQ. And then, so that's your input effects. And then on this side, you've got your track effects. So these effects, so whilst the input ones go on your mic before they get looped, and then you can sample those sounds into the loops, these effects go onto your already sampled loops. So you can put really, really nice effects on what you've already recorded. So if you've got a jam like I've just made, you can then put effects on it. So what have I got on here? I've got a vinyl thing. It's called Vinyl Flick. That's really fun. I like to use that to just end a track. So you've got it jamming, right? When you press it, it sounds like someone stopped a record. I really love that. So that's the first one I use. The second one is this guy, filter. It's got a low pass filter on there. Again, it's just for some nice effects. And then the last one I use here is a beat repeat. Again, there's so many on there. If you have a little play, there's what have we got? You've got, oh no, don't write.
Sorry, Slow.
You've got reverb,
Slow.
chorus, roll. Roll's a nice one. Now, there's some crazy effects on here. I really recommend just having a play. Granular delay. Very, very cool. So that's one really lovely feature of this machine. You've got your input effects and your output effects, which previously, when I first started looping, I'd have one unit, a separate unit, and a separate effects pedal doing all my input effects. Then I'd have the looper, and then I'd have a third unit, like a chaos pad, doing the output effects. And it was just like crazy amount of stuff being plugged into each other, which creates more and more problems, things like latency and sound degradation. So when this machine came out, that was a game changer. I can walk around with this in my backpack. I've walked around Glastonbury with that in my backpack and rocked up and done a show at like 5 in the morning. It's really, really cool. So let me ask you guys, do you have any questions either in the Zoom room or at home that you'd like to ask about the kit we've been using so far? So far we've explored a bit of Endless, we've explored a bit of the RC505, and in a minute I'm going to dive into my customized machine here, Beast. So Zoom room, let me ask you, do you guys have any questions to fire at me? Go for it, Ozzy. What would you like to ask?
For the effects, the first one from the first half, I missed out B. So I got the EQ and I got the reverb, but I forgot the middle one.
So on my hang on, get it right. Yeah, on my input effects, the one I have on B is the reason you missed it is because it's not that exciting. I'm using a high pass filter. So what that means, high pass filter means only the high can get passed. So it takes out all the bottom end. And you might not be able to hear that over a Zoom call or over a live stream. But on stage, because on the first one, because on the A, I've boosted the bass really high so that when I beatbox through a big PA with big subwoofers, you get this crazy, like heart-wrenching sound. It's so exciting. But the problem is, if you're just chatting or speaking or even just doing some hi-hats or something that you don't want that bottom end on, it can make these boomy sounds that you don't really want. So that's why I've got that button there as a quick kind of get out of jail free filter. But you probably can't even hear it through the internet. So unless you're doing it on stage playing on a big PA, I wouldn't worry too much about how I've got that set up. I'd use that B slot for something else, something more creative, because again, there are loads to choose from. Let's see, you've got phaser, you've got flanger, you've got lo-fi, distortion, EQ, isolator, pan. Can you hear that going left to right? I don't know if you've got stereo there. Tremolo, slicer. So that's the slicer. It just chops it in and out, There's so many different settings on there. So I really recommend having a little play. If you've got an RC505, they're really good fun. There's also a similar unit called the RC202, which has the same effects on. So have a really good play with those if you can. Who else has got a question there, guys? If you're at home and you've got a question you want to ask, just fire away. Or if you're in the Zoom room, what would you guys like to ask me about those machines we've played with so far?
I guess I have a quick question about the RC505. I found in my time having it that while it is something you can chuck in your backpack and you can take around, that like some components on it are not that well built, like they break. And I'm
Yeah.
just wondering what your recommendations for like care for that kind of machine, because on the one hand it feels like you could put it in a flight case everywhere you go, and on the other hand you want to chuck it in your backpack and just rock up to a gig.
Yeah, it is quite fragile. Like I had a fader completely die and I had to get it, and it wasn't just the control of it, it was the actual internal organs, which you can't open up very easily, so I had to send it back to get repaired. But Paul's showing you something there. What's that you've got there? I don't know if people at home can see, but Paul's holding up. Is that some kind of customized cover?
It's a deck saver. I think it's like £40, but it's worth it. It protects all the faders and stuff. But yeah, you can order them online. I've got one.
So that's nice. I've not seen that before, but I'll tell you what I
Yeah.
use, which is just a little gig bag by Gator Cases. I think that was a similar kind of 40 quid. It's just the right size for an RC505. It's padded on the inside. It's got a few zips and pockets for all your cables and your power adapters and whatnot, and it just goes on your back. So I've used that to, travel. But you're asking the wrong guy. I'm always trashing my kit. It drives my manager mad. Like my stuff just dies because I don't look after it. So you're asking the wrong guy. I'm irresponsible when it comes to that. But I do agree with you. It's not super rugged like some of the older Roland machines that are stomp boxes. They are much more robust. So I'm wondering, I haven't opened this guy up yet, but I'm wondering if this RC500, which I think is more of a stomp box, might be a bit more rugged. Which one of you is going to win, by the way? We'll get to that in a minute, but someone's going to win this loop station, which is very exciting. Who else has a question for me about the live looping setups we've been playing with today? If you don't have a question, that's cool. We can move on. So I would like to show you one other thing, which is my machine over here, this beast. So let me switch over to this camera and switch to this microphone. So we touched on this last month, but this is Beast and this is customized. So I had to write my own software to make this machine work, which was both fun and traumatic. But I've got a similar thing. So when I built this, I actually wanted to emulate my RC505. That was my goal, was to create a loop, a 5-channel looper inside a software setup, but where I wouldn't ever have to touch the screen. I wouldn't ever have to touch the laptop. So up here, I've got these LPD pads, which they're just pads you can map them to anything within the software. You could even map them into something like Endless really easily. But up here, I've got my input effects. So in a very similar way to those 3 buttons on the left of the RC505, I've got my EQ. I've got some distortion. Woo, hello. I've got some bit crusher, which makes it sound like like a 16-bit Mega Drive. I've got reverb. Yeah. 1, 2. I've got like a pitcher so I can go down an octave. And then I've got my delays. I've got like a crotchet delay and a dotted quaver delay. So they're just really quick and easy, and there's a few other knobs here just to control a few levels, like my click going into my in-ears, my in-ear monitor level, things like that. So that's just what I love about it, is you can map it how you want it. So when you've got like a hardware looper like the RC505 or even the Endless on the iPad, the way they've laid it out is the way you have to use it. Whereas if you create your own setup, you can map it however your brain works. You can lay it out however you want it to be. So once you've got to a level where you're pushing things beyond, this is the one. You get into Ableton, you get into Max for Live, and you can create anything you want. So then I use push here, which is the main controller, and this is how I'm controlling. I've got 5 instances of the looper device inside Ableton. Oh, who's ringing me? It's Beardy Man. Should we say hello to Beardy Man? Darren. I'm good. I'm on my live stream. Say hello to my audience.
Oh. Hello.
Hello.
We're doing a tech live stream about live looping, and who rings me but actual Beardy Man?
What?
Well, any questions?
Who's got a question for Beardy Man? They all just look a bit starstruck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
How many hours a day do you
answer
practice?
any questions anyone has.
Paul Arnott, aka Subsonic, says, how many hours a day do you practice?
I spend the majority of my time looking after my children because it's 2020 and lockdown has laid waste to my productivity. But I guess the only answer I can give is every hour that I have, which is not many.
Same.
Susanna Fairbairn on Twitch says, this is literally the coolest thing that could have happened. I don't know, I can't think of anything much cooler than to be doing literally a live looping. Like, we're deep diving into how I've set my live looping up, and then my phone rings and I'm like, oh, that's really unprofessional that I've left my phone, the ringer on my phone. I'm like, oh no, that's okay, because it's actual Beardy Man. I know what you're phoning me about.
Yes, basically the dog ate my homework. I want to know if I can hand in my new review set tomorrow night instead.
Yeah, bro, I'll give you a call after this. It's absolutely fine. It's all good, bro.
That's great. I might tune in because I want to know how your setup works because it's dope and it intrigues me.
Well, you can. I'm on Twitch right now. You come and jump on.
Amazing.
Although you could do your homework instead, but that's up to you. Everybody, make some noise for Beardy Man. Thanks for joining us very briefly on the stream. Beardy Man in the house. Whoop, 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 whoop. Wow, that was unexpected and very, very cool. Yeah, if you don't know who Beardy Man, guys, is, he's the actual king of this stuff. He blows my mind. If you think I've got a customized setup, he is just on some next level. So big up Beardy Man. I've completely lost my flow of what on earth we were doing as well. So let's throw it out to the audience for some questions. Tonight has been just one of those streams. Zoom Room, who are still frozen on my stream. Are you there? That's a picture from about an hour ago.
If you were building a really stripped down version of these, like not using, like before you got into Max for Live or only just starting to get into Max for Live, kind of, what would that look like? For someone who's maybe just got like I've got Ableton Suite, but for someone who's maybe got Ableton Standard, some of the basic
Great
things
question. That's a great question, bro. So how would you get started on live looping in Ableton? What a great question. I'm ashamed I didn't even think to tell you that. So let me show you. I think I can show you my laptop screen using this piece of kit, which you might not be able to see, but I've got a lovely new video switcher also from Roland. Thank you, Roland. I'll do that. You can see my screensaver, which is a key thing for any live looper, to know how to set up their screensaver. So here's my Ableton setup, which is very complex and not very helpful for you to see something that's that complex. But I can show you a really, really simple way to start looping. So on here, I have my looped set. So I've got 5 loopers. I don't know if you can even see the detail of this, but if you wanted to start from scratch, what I would suggest is you get your mic. What I'd ideally do right now is start a completely new Ableton set from scratch, but unfortunately this set is running all my audio, so then you wouldn't be able to hear me for a sec. And also it takes a few minutes to load my set, but what I'll do is I'll show you what I've got. So get your mic. So my mic is going into an input channel, which is over here. 1, 2, where is the mic going in? Yo, input. So I've got my group of input here, and my mic is coming through my SM58. So that's, you can see there, it's coming into my, from my interface. So plug your mic into interface. If you don't know what an interface is, it's basically a bunch of sockets for things like microphones and speakers to plug into so that your computer can communicate with analog things like mics and speakers, because the computer deals obviously in ones and zeros. So the interface converts the ones and zeros into sound and converts the sounds into ones and zeros. So plug your mic into interface, get your mic coming into Ableton. Now, the way I do it is I then route that to, so I don't even know what's happening here. That's routing into a channel called Vox 58, which is there. So I've got lots of EQ going on there, but you don't necessarily need to. But basically, the way I route it is your input effects happen on the way in. In fact, let me show you a slightly different way of doing it. Going to go through a different channel, which is my mic coming in there. That's then routing to Beatbox 58, which is this channel here. That's where I put my beatbox EQ. So you see if I turn this off and on, you can hear the difference. And you can see the shape of that. Can you see that on the screen, how huge that bass is there? And I've got that mapped to my controller here, so I can change it on stage really easily. And the same with the high there. So you do your processing before you go to your looper. And then where does it go next? And then it goes, audio goes to input. So I've made a group here called input so that I can put effects onto all the channels that come into my machine. And on here I've got a few different effects. Like that's my bass octave. That's the pitch shifter I was showing you earlier, which is this one. That's just a free Max for Live device I found called what's it called? I don't know. I'll find out what that's called. How do you find out? Show device file in browser. It's called Joe Harmonizer, which is a great low latency and low CPU pitch shifter that I found. Anyway, so all your input effects are going through this group. So we haven't even got to the looper yet. It's all going through various stages of processing before you get to your looper. That audio is then going to a channel called mic out, which is in my output group here. Mic out, boom. And that is then going to my master. So that's how it's getting to you directly through there. But how is it getting to the looper? Well, if I open up my sends and my returns, you can see I've got a send here, send B, which is called to looper, which means I can choose which channels I want to go to the looper. So you can have, you know, if you're playing like guitar, for example, if you're playing keyboard, anything, any kind of sound that you want to be sent to your looper, you can use a send rather than just putting your looper on any channel. Use a send to get to the looper. If you have questions about what that means, I can go into more detail. But how am I getting to the looper? Well, mic out doesn't go to the looper, so I'm not sure how it does get there. So basically anything on this row which has this B turned up is being sent to the looper. Oh, here we go. So the whole of my input bus there is sent to the looper. You can see it there. So if I turn that signal off, it stops appearing here in the to looper bus. So if I turn that back up again, that's now going to the looper. And then you've got to set your send to sends only. You don't want that to go out. You don't want that to go to your master bus. You don't want anyone to hear that, or they'll be duplicating the audio. So I've got it sent to sends only. And then if I go back to my looper channels, right the way over here, so loop 1, the audio comes from send B to loopers. So that's how I get my audio signal path to my looper. So we haven't even got to the looper yet. We've just done some routing to make sure the signal is going exactly where we want it. It's getting treated exactly how we want it. Bit of EQ, bit of input effects before it even gets to the looper. Then you go on your looper here, on your channel here, and you use a device called looper, which you can find by going to your audio effects. Right there is a device called looper. Now that is an emulation of a loop pedal. It's not a brilliant one, I've got to be honest, but it's the most stable one I've found. There's lots of other ones. Beardy Man, I should call him back and ask him what it's called. He's got another one he uses. I've forgotten what it called it now. But there's various ones. There's various VSTs you can use as well. But I use Ableton's built-in looper. And you basically have a big button here, which when you press it acts just like the pedal on a loop pedal. So if I clear it first, And then if I press it, that's looping. Just like in all those other loopers we used. The first time you press it, it records it. The second time you press it, it goes into overdub. And then the third time you press it, it goes to play. You can change the order of that if you want by clicking on these. Where is it? Can't even see where you change that. But you can change what order it does stuff in very easily. Yeah, here we go. Record X bars. You can set it to. You can preset how many bars you want it to loop. But I like to have it on X, which means variable, so it waits for your next order before it does anything. And then so wait blah bars, and then if you press this button, it will change what happens next. So the plus means overdub, the play means play. And on that, you can MIDI map. If you've not used Ableton before, if you press Apple M or Control M on a PC, or if you just right click on any area and go edit MIDI map, you press the button you want to control, and then you press on a MIDI controller, and that maps it so that you can control it without having to use the mouse or touch the computer. You can use, for example, one of these pads here are very, very easily mappable to that button and to most of the buttons on that looper, so you can control that looper without ever using your mouse or touching it. You can use the mouse. I'm not against the mouse. It's just on stage, it's just not cool. For me, I don't think that's cool. You need to stay away from pressing buttons. Use buttons. Stay away from clicking on your screen. So that's a really, really brief intro on how I've got it all set up. That then goes to a bunch of output effects and lots of other different fun and games, which we can dive deeper into if you so desire. But does that answer your question for now, Lucas?
Yeah, that's super
Lucas
helpful.
Or are you Nicole?
No, I'm Lucas. It's just on Facebook. I swapped it around 10 years ago, just as a kind of screw you to the censors, but not really. But yeah, that answers my question quite well. I feel like anyone who wanted to get started with more deeper live looping has probably learned a lot. And I used to do something similar. Like I have all my inputs in an input bus, and I send the audio out via sends to the loopers, but I usually just have it input sending to the looper channel. But I think I'll do it the sends method now, because I can see that
really
just being more useful and being more adaptable. And also I think that effects on a sends channel use less system resources. I'm not entirely sure, but I think there's some theory behind that.
Yeah, the theory behind that is if you have, if you wanted to add some reverb to lots of different channels, and you drag in a reverb plugin on every single channel, then your computer is having to process every single channel. Whereas if you put your reverb onto one channel, your return, and then you send all the different signals from the different channels to that one reverb processor, it's only having to do the processing once. And it's simplifying the amount of thinking a computer has to do. And also you can create lovely effects by basically the more you send that channel to the reverb, the further away in the mix it sounds. So you can create like a 3D feeling where you can have very, very far away, or you gradually turn it down. As you gradually turn it down, it sounds like I'm nearer to you. And if you're mixing, you can use that theory to send different instruments or different channels backwards and forwards in the mix, which is really, really cool. Anyone else got a question there about any of this stuff we've done so far? Or even how
I've got a question.
To get live looping superstars to phone you in the middle of a live looping stream. Yes, Ozzy.
Yes, thank you. Honestly, thank you for doing this. It's been amazing today.
Pleasure, bro.
My
Thanks
one.
for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Mine is basically it's to do with the RC 505. I wanted to know how you would or how do you record a live set through, say for example you wanted to, you were, let's just say for theoretically you're going for a competition and you had to record a track, how would you record it from the loop station and just get the audio file?
That's a great question. How do you record your output from your looper? One thing that I've really spent a lot of time trying to refine and never really finding a perfect solution. But so if you're using the RC505, you can actually use it as an interface into your computer. So it's got a USB port in the back, which you can plug directly into your computer. And then if you're using, you can use Ableton or you can use a free DAW. There's various ones out there. You don't have to pay for them if you don't want to. But you could then record your mic or record your output from the machine into the computer. I don't really tend to do that though. I tend to just use the good old analog outputs. So you take your outputs out of there, and either you need another. That would mean you need an interface to go into your computer to record, or you need a separate recording device, like one of those little handheld Zoom recorders, or something like that. You could even record it into your phone if you had an interface that would connect to your phone. I'm trying to think of other ways you could do it, but I think the most robust way I would do it is to use have you got an audio interface, Ozzy? Have you got a sound card?
You mean one of those little, I've got a couple. Someone gave me one and it's like, yeah, it's just like really good thing, but I don't even know what it is. I'm still new to the whole, music production side of things.
So an audio interface, I'll show you mine by going here. Can you see? That's kind of hiding. Underneath here is, if I move the camera, mine. I've got a Focusrite Scarlett here. This setup today actually has 3 audio interfaces. One in the rig, this one here, and then I've got another one that's handling the stream. But that one is a really cheap and simple one. I think it's called a 2i2 because it's got, or a 2i4 because it's got 2 inputs and 4 outputs. And that's really, really straightforward and not super expensive. And basically that will you can plug it into your phone or your iPad if you have one of these, which is, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that thing that's plugged into my iPad? So that basically enables you to plug. Yeah, you can plug a USB device or even a USB hub into your phone or your iPad. I recommend that if you want to jam with Endless, although make sure you get the one which lets you have a power input as well, because without the power input, it won't have enough power to charge the device, or if it's a bus-powered interface, you need that power to be able to run it. But then you can also plug that into your computer, and then it's a really sound investment if you're interested in music production. Definitely buy an audio interface. That should be quite high up your shopping list because you can use that for so many things. Like if you want to record, if you want to do anything with mics, anything with like loopers. But don't forget, your loop station is an audio interface too. Like I said, if you plug the USB plug out of the back directly into your computer, that will pop up as an audio interface itself. So if you've already got a looper, you do already have an interface which you can use. Cool, guys. Has anyone else got any questions before we move on to the next part of the show? Have you got one there, Paul?
Yeah, I do. It's just sort of following on from Ozzybox's question. So it's about recording. I noticed when you record through USB, if you've got all the sort of 5 loops playing, it will just hear it as one sort of sound. And this is more for like post-production. And I found, do you have to record each separate of the 5 channels separately, and then in order to have them in 5 channels on Ableton sort of thing, so you can then make a full track out of it? If that makes sense.
That is a good question. Can you multi-track the outputs of your RC505 into Ableton or into a DAW?
I don't think it's possible, but I think that's a workaround, is just to record the 5 things separately sort of thing.
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, I've gone to great lengths before I created my beast. I had a bit of a mad setup where when I was making recordings of live looping shows or live looping tracks, I would live loop them, but at the same time I would split my mic feed and I would record a dry version of my mic.
Yeah.
And then I'd make a note of the tempo of my loop. And then I'd go back, I was using Logic at the time, I'd go back and I'd completely reconstruct the performance using the raw audio. And what's lovely about that is you then have control over every single layer, not just your 5 chunks of it. Like every single sound you made, you can tweak it, you can edit it, you can EQ it, you can compress it. So that's how I made some of the early live looping recordings that I released. But these days I do it, if you're doing it in Ableton, you've already got that separation control, so it's a much more straightforward way to do it. But that is probably the ultimate workaround.
Yeah, that's really good actually. Thank you. I never thought of that. That's brilliant.
You're welcome. Cool. Has anyone else got a question there, guys? How are you doing there, Tess? I feel like I don't want to overload people who are maybe a bit early on in their journey. Would that be a description of you, do you think? Oh, you've gone quiet.
I guess muted.
You're muted. I can't hear you, Tess. You're muted, but give us a thumbs up if you're okay. Hopefully you're okay there. Yeah, you're okay. That's good. That's good. Everyone at home who can't see the Zoom room, we're having a bit of a glitch there, but hopefully you can still hear them. If everyone at home is watching, has any questions, please feel free to jump in and fire away. For me, this is my idea of fun, just geeking out, using tech and playing about, having fun. So, listen, this has been really, really cool. And I want to tell you guys something, which is that you are in with a chance to win a prize. We have been donated a loop station by Boss. It's the RC500, which is the newest one that came out. So it's this one that I've been using, the RC505, is more powerful than this, which is, I guess, why it's 505 and this is 500. So this is slightly simpler, but it's still a hugely powerful machine, really, really robust device. So if you guys want to win this, which I hope you do, even if you've already got a looper, you can do some powerful stuff by plugging 2 loopers into each other, which is really, really fun. You can synchronize them together and kind of level up your system. If you want to win one of these, I'm setting you guys a creation challenge. Yes, I am. I'm setting you guys a creation challenge. It's very exciting. Oh, there we go. Now we've got gifts. I don't know why they weren't working earlier. My laptop hates me today. We have gifts. That's cool. Gifts is better than... We've got gifts, but we haven't got animated Zoom room. I don't know why. They're still frozen from about half an hour ago. So here is your creation challenge. If you want to win this RC500 loop station, I'm going to set you a creation challenge. Your challenge is simple. This month, I would like you to take any kind of looper. It doesn't have to be a hardware looper. If you don't have one, you can use Endless, or I've got a list of free looping apps that is on my website that I'll give you a link to in a moment. So I want you to grab any looper, and I want you to create an expression of your choice with a very simple theme. The theme I'm giving you is this: rave to the moon. Those are the only words I'm giving you. That's the very, very loose kind of brief. If you don't know what I'm talking about with rave to the moon, I'm going to play you a video now to explain what rave to the moon is. Take it away.
Yo, SK Shlomo here, the world record breaking beatboxer, and I've got some huge news. This New Year's Eve, we are challenging you to grab your glow sticks and rave to the moon. What does this mean? Well, Rave to the Moon is a huge and totally free online party from home, where you can raise funds for any charity you choose, just like a sponsored walk or a marathon, except it's a rave-a-thon. We have a huge lineup beaming straight to your home, including Felix and Vula from Basement Jacks, Mr. Scruff, Radio 1's Ariel Free, Nitin Sawhney, Heartless Crew, Beardy Man, DJ Yoda, and loads more. And here's the twist. Using a free app, all the steps you take will be counted in real time towards our global goal of 500 million steps, the very rough distance from Earth to the moon. So if you want to win prizes, raise money for any cause you believe in, and help bring the world just that tiny bit closer together this New Year's, head to ravetothemoon.tv right now to start donating and fundraising. I'll see you on New Year's Eve, and let's rave to the moon! Yeah!
Boom. So that's rave to the moon. Rave to the moon. is currently my life. Everyone else seems to be shutting down for Christmas, being like, oh, we've had a good year, we finished work, well done, go off and have a holiday. And I'm like ramping up. I've been working on this project for weeks. It's really, really exciting, massive charity show. It's just trying to make the world's biggest free online New Year's Eve party, so you can come and rave with us. Me and my friends will be DJing. That's why Beardy Man's phoning me on a random Thursday, because he's going to be one of the acts playing. So many acts are playing. Like I said, Basement Jacks, Heartless Crew, all these people. It's going to be insane. So that's free, and anyone can come and join us, ravetothemoon.tv. And the idea is we want to do steps, 500 million steps to try and get to the moon. So I wanted to use that as a theme for some music. Like, it could be that you use those words. It could be that you don't use words, but you create a piece of music that's inspired by the idea of space travel. It's completely up to you how you want to make your tune and how you want to win this challenge. But the only rules are you have to use some kind of looping device, and you have to use the words rave to the moon as a starting point. It can be a video, it can be an audio, it could be a performance, or it could be a screen grab. Kind of, if you've got an app like Endless or one of those live looping apps, just hit record on your screen grab and just jam. I don't mind what format it is. I just want to hear you express yourself. And if you want to get a free looping app, if you haven't got Endless, you haven't got an iOS device, there's some Android ones as well. Here is the link. So if you go to skshlomo.com/creation. On there, I've put a list of some free apps you can use if you don't have a looper. But if you have a hardware looper, that's even better. It's completely up to you how you do it. But if you go on there, you've got 2 weeks before entries close. We're closing on the 30th of December, which is 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks away. And then a week later, on the 7th of January, we'll be doing my first live stream of 2021. And on that live stream, I have a very exciting guest, which is Tim Exile, who's an absolute god of live looping. And he is the creator of Endless. He's the guy who invented this software that we've been playing around with earlier today. So he's coming on my stream, which is very, very exciting. Yay! He's going to be on the stream on the 7th of January. And that day, we're going to play the best entries on the stream. And Tim will help us choose a winner. And the winner will get this lovely shiny loop station. Whoop, 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 whoop. Very, very exciting. So please, entries are now open. Please go ahead. Have a little play. Have a little jam over Christmas. If you've got some downtime, plug in your looper. And please don't worry about making it good. Like, that's the main thing I'm always trying to teach people. Only has to be good enough. Don't worry about whether it's, don't compare yourself. Don't be like, oh, this isn't good enough. Chuck it in there, and I'll hopefully be able to help you if you're wanting to get more confident. I'll hopefully be able to give you some input on that too. And the runner-up will get some free tickets for next month's Music Tech Masterclass. If you would like to join next month's Music Tech Masterclass and you haven't got a ticket yet, there's a link here. Is there? Yes. bit.ly/slowclass. That is a link to be on this session this time next month. We're doing it on the, 14th of January, I think. Yeah, 14th of January. And we'll be looking at customizing workflows. We'll be looking at finding more ways to use technology to express yourself. So, guys, thank you so much. It's been amazing jamming with you guys today. Big up to, I missed a question here from Susanna. It says, I'm absolutely early on my journey, completely new. So could I ask, what is the first piece of kit I need? Susanna, do you have a tablet, like or an iOS device? Do you have an Android or iOS device, a phone or a tablet? Because if you do, you can get free software for those devices that enables you to live loop. And I would recommend Endless if you're on iOS, and if you're on Android, go to the link here and have a look at the free ones on there and have a play. Don't worry about them being complicated, because you can start right at the beginning and build your way up. But if you want to, lots of people ask me what looper to buy when they're first starting, and I say don't buy a looper, don't buy hardware. If you already have a smartphone or a tablet, you already have a device capable of doing some really, really fun looping. So, Susanna says yes, she has an iPad. Great, go and get yourself Endless. The link is there. If you go to skshlomo.com/creation, you'll be able to get Endless for free. Lovely. Wicked. I can see some comments here on the Zoom room as well that I've missed as well, but I'll have a quick look at them at the end. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys. It has been really, really fun. Is my Zoom room still there? There's only an image of you from a little while back, but we can hear you. If you're there, guys, make a bit of noise. Thank you so much for being part of tonight. This has been amazing. There they are.
Cheers, man. Cheers, Samo.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. It's been really, really fun.
Much, man. It's been amazing. Some great stuff here.
Yeah, I can hear you guys jamming. That's cool. So thank you again. My name's SK Shlomo. I am out. I am no live stream next week because it's Christmas Eve, but I'll be back on New Year's Eve with the biggest stream of the entire year. We are going to kiss goodbye to 2020 like it never even happened. Thank you so much for being here. I'm SK Shlomo. See you again. Take care. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.
Peace.
Thank you.